Hello, everyone. It looks like I have been on now for about 30 seconds. And I want to say, for those of you who may catch me live, thank you so much for joining me. I did not send out a notice because I wasn't very sure how to do that. One of the things that I did do was to challenge myself to go through a YouTube video or several YouTube videos to find out how to go live on YouTube. Now, this is not my first rodeo being live on YouTube. I just could not remember how to do it directly from YouTube. I've used Zoom, I've used LiveStream, and now I'm using just the components of my laptop to do this live stream here on YouTube. So I hope everyone is doing well today. I hope that you will enjoy my little rant on whatever comes to my mind that I'm going to share with you. Today is Friday. It is May 3rd and approximately 3:30 in the afternoon. For those of you who are already familiar with me, it's good to be able to come to you live. And if you feel as if you'd like to leave a comment in the chat section or the comment section, please feel free to do so, and I will respond to your comments. If you're watching live, it would be great to know who you are and where you're from. However, as I said, I did not post that I was going live at this moment. I'm not very sure how many people will actually be on at this time, but I am listed as public. Again, my name is Dr. Priscilla, a native English speaker, and I live in the United States. Since I started about 3:30, I will try to go on for at least 10 minutes. And if I get some interaction or something compels me to go further, I will do that as well. I have a laptop over to my right, over here. It's over there. Yeah, over there. And I'll be looking at that laptop occasionally to get some ideas to talk about. So, one of the things that I'm going to talk about is a video that I've recently created is a hard nut to crack. A hard nut to crack is an idiom. And an idiom is a useful way of saying something to sound more fluent and confident when you're speaking English. So I'll type in chat that I'm talking about an idiom, hard nut to crack. Many of you may be familiar with pecans, Brazil nuts, peanuts, and just a variety of nuts. Those are the ones that I can think of at the moment. So as you think about nuts, are they difficult? Are they hard to crack open? And if the nut is hard to crack open, that is hard to crack. However, in this case, we're talking about hard to crack as an idiom, not talking about the nut itself. For example, if someone is trying to convince you of something and you believe something totally different, it could be a hard nut to crack, which means it's very difficult to get through to the other person, or the other person is finding it challenging to get through to you. So that would be a hard nut to crack. Sometimes in the office environment, there are challenges at work and there's discussions going on. Individuals have been assigned roles to do something, solve problems, work as a team, and it's just very challenging to come up with a solution. We could say then that this is a hard nut to crack. With persistence, though, you can break through. And how do I know this? Let me use myself as an example. I have been working at trying to go live on YouTube for about 2.5 hours. I watched a lot of YouTube videos to tell me exactly what I should do. Then I found the one video that is maybe 1 month old, and it had exactly what I needed. The YouTuber did say she was using a Mac computer, and I just have the basic laptop, but there was no difficulty in the application of YouTube itself. So the things that she was sharing with me was easy to follow, and all of the places that she was indicating that I should go, I was able to follow it easily. One of the advantages for me as I try to crack this hard nut was I do have two computers. I have two laptops. As I said, I have one over here and then the one that I'm talking to you on at this very moment. She told me things that I should look for, look at, and try to understand the analytics. For example, I can see that there are 0 participants watching at this moment, and that's perfectly fine. The more I do this, my audience will increase because I will let the people on my Facebook page know that I am live. As a matter of fact, I think I will do that now. I'll go to Facebook, copy the link, close this window. Now I'm going to go to my Facebook page and post that I am live at this link. And if anyone decides to join me, that would just be perfect. So let me go to my talking group, Speak Excellent English Talking Group. And if you're not a member of Speak Excellent English Talking Group and you're watching this as a replay, please ask to join. So I'm going to say, please join me live now at this link on YouTube. Control V. There. So let's see. And I'm telling you about a hard nut to crack. However, when I posted into my Facebook group, it says that I'm going to talk about the fork in the road. So let me just change the topic. And if you want to know more about a hard nut to crack, then I'm happy to share that with you on stream, live stream, or in a post comment back to you. Real quick post this week. And let's see, I'm going to go over to another site and is live with a free English session on YouTube. Here is the link. All right, so there's the link there. And I am posting there. I could send this also to a few people on Messenger. And log in. If there's anyone live on, and I am live now at this link. So there we are. So we'll see. I'm calling to see if there are people available to join me in this live stream. So we're talking about a fork in the road. When we talk about a fork in the road, it means that life presents you with choices. For example, if you remember, a fork has either 3 or 4 little spokes. And it's really good if you're eating something like meat and you need to use a fork and a knife to cut. And then you take the fork and poke it into your meat and eat it. Now, of course, you can use a fork for other things. It doesn't have to be just meat. It could be potatoes. It could be any food item that has some consistency. Oh, so I have one viewer now at the moment. So yeah. So I can say, hello, Haseen. It's good to see that you are here. Please let me know if you can hear me clearly. Is it clear? Is the visual good? Or anything that you might want to comment on that I might need to change or challenge myself to change. I'm working on building up my skill sets, which is what I suggest to individuals, especially English language learners. Yes, I do see the hearts that you're sending, and I'm going to respond. Yes, I do see the hearts. Thank you. And I wanted to try something else too. I wanted to try this this poll. And here's the poll. Ask a question. Have you ever used the idiom a fork in the road? Okay. So there is the poll. So if you could answer yes or no, I hope that went through. That would be great. Okay. So it looks like, yes, I do. See the hearts. Thank you. No, up until this time, I wasn't familiar with it. Okay. So when we talk about a fork in the road, you can imagine, I thought maybe I had some utensils in here, but I do not. A fork, a knife, and a spoon. Those are three utensils that are frequently used when eating. Now, we're not necessarily talking about an actual fork, but I want you to visualize a fork in your mind. And the purpose of a fork is to pick something up and then put that something, food item in most cases, into your mouth. But a fork in the road is a place where you've come and you have to decide which direction do you want to go. Do you want to stay where you are? Do you want to go to the left or do you want to go to the right? Which way are you going to go? And that's called the fork in the road. Sometimes we might say it is the road less traveled. People tend to go, if they get to a fork in the road, they look to see which path has been traveled the most, and they choose that path. Does that mean that they have chosen correctly? Not necessarily. And it doesn't mean that they've chosen incorrectly either. But your challenge would be try not to always go with the easiest route. When you go with the easiest route, your learning may not be as deep as it would be if you had not followed in someone else's footsteps. Now, that's kind of, I forget what the word is that I want to use for that. Sometimes it is better to follow the path that has been traveled because you're trying to get to a place in the least amount of time with the least resistance. So, up until now, I wasn't familiar with it, a fork in the road. Is it on a road? And so, and a road, I can't really see what's on the other side of your word until something else comes up because some icon is covering it up. But it's just a phrasal speech. It's a way of speaking. It does not mean that there's a fork in the road, but it means that there's definitely a path to choose. You can go either way. This is what is called the fork in the road when you're having to make a decision. And when you make that decision, try and stick with that decision. So let's just say, for example, when I started about an hour and a half, 2 hours and a half ago, trying to get onto YouTube, I was very challenged by that. And I looked at several videos. Some were like 6 minutes, a couple were 10 minutes. And then I found this 8-minute video, which was the one that I really needed. That was just a month old, that showed me exactly what I needed to do to get to where I am at this very moment. I had said that I was going to be on maybe 10 minutes, and now that I'm on, I'm looking, there's a clock here on the screen that says I've been on now 15 minutes and 44 seconds, which is great. This is really great. Now, a fork in the road again is a point in your life when you have to make a decision. You can get a visual image of being in the forest, and you'll see that there are many paths that you can take, and that could be a fork in the road. But in this example, a fork in the road as an idiom is, what are you going to choose? You have to decide. You cannot stay where you are. You must make some actionable movement. Another similar idiom would be straddling the fence. When you straddle the fence, you're not over on the left side, you're not over on the right side, you're just sitting there indecisive. But you need to make a choice. You need to make a decision. What change do you want to make so that um, the path is clear? Even if the path that you choose is the incorrect path, you have made a choice. And you will always learn something. In everything that you do, there's an opportunity to learn. Let's see. Yes, that is correct. It's a point in a person's life where they have to make a decision. Do you want to finish high school? Do you want to go to college? Do you want to buy a home? Do you want to buy a car? What is it that you want to do? Do you want to learn English? Do you want to travel? It's making a decision. When you make your decision, there are actionable steps that you must take. For example, if you want to travel, then you must have finances to help support that desire to travel. And what mode of transportation are you going to use? Are you going to fly a plane? Are you going to fly in a plane? Are you going to drive in a car? Are you going to walk? It's all about making choices. And with those choices, there's a strategy of making plans. Okay? So that's what it means when you get to the fork in the road. Another thing, Haas, you and I have talked about is many people are like forks. They say that they want to learn something, but they're not willing to give anything in return. They just want to come with their fork and poke it in, take as much as their fork will hold, and then they leave and they never come back to bring something of value to support the efforts that was poured into them. And I think that that's very unfair. I think it's somewhat selfish. But again, it is about making choices. Let's see. What's the difference between making a decision and taking a decision? Okay, so taking a decision and making a decision, I can't really explain what the difference is because it gets into the grammar structure, but you don't take a decision, you make a decision. And making a decision is a collocation of two words, making and decision. You never take a decision. And if that is something that you struggle with and you're not sure when to use it, this is when you start to practice actually using the word making a decision. You actually take action, then you make a decision. Take is the art of doing. Make is the art of doing. But you make a decision and you take action. It's more about collocations, and they're similar, but taking a decision is really incorrect. They're similar. I would get your meaning. I would truly get your meaning and understanding, but the correct way would be to say make a decision. One of the things that I want to point out to anyone that will be listening to this video in the future is that when you are engaging in conversation, for example, it is perfectly fine to make a mistake, but you can't take a mistake. But it's perfectly fine to make a mistake. And even if you use the word taking, when you say taking a decision, that's fine for now. Why is it fine now? It is fine now because this is your practice stage. You're practicing speaking English. And the more you practice, the easier it becomes to know when to use what word, where, when, and why. But it will require action. You have to actually practice saying it so you'll begin making a decision. Yes, and I want to again emphasize it is a collocated word. It is a collocated word. You'll learn collocations the more you interact with me, with my YouTube channel, or engage in conversation. You'll hear an English speaker say, make something, try something out, and you'll start to recognize that this individual isn't saying take. This individual that you're listening to is actually saying make. I guess this sounds a bit weird. Wear a perfume. Wear a perfume. No, I think it's okay. Wear a perfume. Wear cologne. You would not use the word a. You would not use a. And this is grammatically speaking. A is one. When you spray cologne, it's not one because it's a mist. It's a lot. And so therefore you can't count. So you would say wear perfume or wear cologne. Or I have a bottle of perfume that I like to wear, but not wear a perfume. But you can have a bottle of perfume. So again, it's speaking and asking questions as you're doing that it becomes clear as to how it is to be used. Okay, that's a great question. Now, did you answer? Look at my poll works. So now I know how to do the poll. Yay. It's interesting how much one can learn and observe, including myself, just by taking action. I'm taking action now by trying a variety of things on this YouTube channel. So thank you again. And here's a question. What advice would you give to a learner that keeps procrastinating? That's an excellent question. And then I'm going to pose it to you like this. I really wanted to go live on YouTube today. I really wanted to do that. And I knew that I had the wherewithal, the common sense to be able to figure it out. Now, when you are faced with figuring something out, sometimes if someone else can come in and help you to see what you can't see, you can accomplish this a lot faster. That's what I mean by the road less traveled. Sometimes it's easier and quicker to go down the road that someone else has gone down so that you can just follow in their footsteps, which is what I did when I was watching the YouTube videos. I was trying to figure it out by myself, just reading the information that YouTube has presented for me to follow, but it was very much a challenge for me to do so. So instead of putting it off, I kept going, watching other videos and trying to rethink this video said this video said that, and it still wasn't very clear. And finally, the universe answered me with a video that was created last month, and the YouTuber walked me right through everything that I needed to do to get to where I am right now. And of course, technology is quickly changing. So for this reason, the videos that I was watching previously, some things were not quite the same, and I wasn't able to make the connection as to why I should be choosing something else over something else. Let's see. So, procrastination is the killer of dreams. Procrastinating is putting things off and putting things off and putting things off. The longer you put something off, the longer it's going to take you to get it resolved. So prosticating, what is the word? Procrastinating. Procrastinating means to delay. Now, there are some things that need to be delayed, but if it is something that you need, something that you want, then don't put it off too long. You just need to jump in with both feet and just do it. Okay? Yes. Thanks for being held accountable to going live, Doc. Yes, I was holding myself accountable to learn how to do it. And here I am. I am doing it. My next challenge, and I'm not sure when that is going to be, is to start working back with my green screen so that I'm in my room now, but instead of seeing the clock and a bookshelf over here, that's a bookshelf, I'll have a green screen or something. Let's see. Thanks for being held accountable to going live. Please correct my sentence if it is wrong, but you are an overcomer. Okay, so you are an overcomer. And that's a good sentence, but I think overcomer, it's a good sentence, and I understand exactly what you mean, but you are an achiever. You are an overcomer, which is the same thing. There was a difficulty, there was a challenge, and I overcame that challenge by not procrastinating and continuing with my efforts. So you are an overachiever. The sentence is good, but to overcomer would be best replaced with you are an achiever. Okay? And that's not grammatically incorrect. It just sounds better. Some things will sound better. One of the things that I do know is that as I work with English language learners, their vocabulary is so much greater in terms of the word choice that is given in their conversation compared to what I would typically use. And I think when English language learners are learning, they learn the larger word that encompasses maybe 15 smaller words. Instead of using 15 smaller words, their go-to is the big word, like overcomer. That's a huge word which covers a lot. But another word that you could use that we hear a lot, or I hear a lot, is achievable, achievement. Overcomer, I don't hear so much, but it is a good word. What about learners that keep expanding their vocab without using those new words? That's a great point to make. Many English language learners will boast about their huge vocabulary, and I can say they should be proud of their huge vocabulary. However, having a huge vocabulary and not knowing when to use that vocabulary serves no real purpose. Having the vocabulary, using the vocabulary in the wrong context, such as there's collocations. If a word that you're using is connected to a word that it is not necessarily easily relatable, you might be understood, but the response by the person you're interacting with would be a little bit of a challenge. I don't want to discourage anyone from building their vocabulary, but I would say if you have, I don't know, 20 words in your catalog of words, and you can't use all 20 of those words in a given scenario, you don't have a clear understanding of the word. And maybe 20 might be a bit much. I would say 10. If you have 10 vocabulary words and you cannot put those 10 vocabulary words in the context of a situation or a scenario, then you don't have mastery over those vocabulary words. Now, I'm not specifically talking about words of a profession. So, as an example, I know that your field is as in the medical field or dietitian field or whatever your genre is. We're not talking about those words. I'm talking about words that would be in a general conversation, such as excited, exasperated, monetary, um, overcome, achiever, those words. If you can't use those 5 words, think I said 5, in a structured scenario, then you haven't mastered the words. Now, you may take a few moments to try and understand what the words are just by looking at them and then speaking about them. But if you're just challenged to come up with a scenario, and in that scenario, what you may call a scenario is just a definition of the words, people typically don't talk in conversation as a manner of giving the definition of a word. The words are going to come out as a part of a casual and comfortable conversation. And this comes with practice. This comes with practice. So you got take pride in something. Remember that expression. I learned it in one of your classes. So if I were to take pride in something that I've done, so there's pride, frustration, exasperation, achievement. I can't think of another one, but I can take pride in my efforts today because I was exhausted by trying many different avenues of going live on YouTube. But I knew that I am an achiever and I wanted to overcome the handicap of being unable to go live. And here I am today going live. So I think I used 4 of the words and I introduced some other words, but those were all vocabulary words that I know how to use effortlessly. And this is what I want for my English language learners, not to just have a catalog of vocabulary words, but know how to use those words interchangeably in conversation. Genre. The word genre is genre. So genre would be, if I were in the medical field, I might talk about, I don't even know, gastronomy, gastronomical, or esophagus, optical, those words that are related to the medical field. I would not expect even a native English speaker to be able to use those words because I'm not really sure what they are and how to pronounce them either. But in general conversation, an English language learner with practice should be able to use the vocabulary that they're learning in conversation. Okay, is it genre? That's how they pronounce it in French. Okay, so it's genre is that part of something. What type of movies do you enjoy watching? What genre of movies do you enjoy watching? What genre of music do you enjoy listening to? What genre of stories do you like? Do you like fantasy? Do you like suspense? Do you like westerns? Genre is that section of something that you enjoy doing. All right. So I now know that my YouTube channel works. I'm thinking that I will choose one day to do a live stream, and to let more people know that I am live and build my awareness there as well. So, Haseen, I'd want to say thank you so much for joining me today. It was indeed a true pleasure to have you join me live in this live stream and to know that it works. Do you have any other questions for me? I will contact you after this live stream ends and we'll talk again. Do you have any questions that you'd like to ask me before we go? Let's see. For those of you that are interested in learning English, I strongly recommend. Here's a teacher. Oh, you always bless me. I really appreciate and value your participation, your eagerness to learn, and how well you have done for the years that we've been associated with each other. All right, everyone that will watch the replay, thank you so much for being here, doing so, and leave comments if you can. Bye for now. I'm Dr. Priscilla, a native English speaker, and I live in the US. Bye for now.